Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the New to Wrestling podcast. This week, we watched the October 13th, 1997 edition of Raw is War, and the match card is as follows. There's a lot, so bear with me. In our
hmm
opening contest, we have Owen Hart taking on Mustafa for the Intercontinental Championship. Next, we have Max Mini and Nova taking on Mosaic and the Tarantula. Shawn Michaels takes on Flash Funk. The Disciples of the Apocalypse, namely 8 Ball and Skull, take on Recon and Sniper of the Truth Commission for a truly comical match. Brian Christopher takes on Tajiri. Goldust takes on Savio Vega. Ahmed Johnson sort of kind of takes on Triple H. And the Legion of Doom takes on the Godwins in a tag team championship match where if the Legion of Doom do not win the titles, they must retire.
Viewer discretion is advised.
All right. Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. If you are new to wrestling, you're in luck. This is Kelsey. She is also new. She's rocking some fabulous eyeshadow. If you are watching, if you are not watching, I don't know, you're just missing, I think.
Oh my God, that
So
was so nice. My head's like, psst.
thank you. It's like the Airhead commercials.
That
Um,
was so nice. Wow.
if you are not so new, I am Xavier. I am kind of
Yes.
your guide. I've seen most of this before, and we're gonna talk about it. We are still in the middle of the, I guess, more of the build to Survivor Series, less the fallout of Bad Blood. But uh just lots of chaos this episode. This one again, as is going to be true, probably go forward as far as Raw is War is concerned, is not a real big in the ring. Not a whole lot in the ring happened. A lot of it was plot points and chaos and backstage segments and promos. So
Yeah, it's like I can't think of if there was even one bell to bell match that was like no interference, nobody coming out, no random people,
not a one.
no,
Not a one.
right?
Not a one. Well,
All of it was,
maybe. Maybe one, maybe two. That's it though.
yeah.
Out of the eight that we had
Yeah,
on the card.
so the percentages are
Low,
crazy.
low, baby.
Low,
Um,
low, 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 low.
this episode opens up with a video package of the Legion of Doom. It essentially goes into the history of the Road Warriors. Um, one of them is quoted being like, "If you don't have like the fear and butterflies every time you go out to perform, then you're in the wrong business. Like
I
that's what
love
gets you
them.
through that match and every match, because it is a day in day out kind of business. It goes on to like show how they have been champions everywhere they've gone: the NWA, the AWA, the WCW, as well as the WWF. And yeah, and then we get the big stipulation of the win the titles or retire. And then throughout this entire episode, we get a lot of video packages, and
Scared
interviews.
me to death. Scared
Um,
me to death.
really unpacking the history and kind of like just big moments from the LOD. Whether they're like coming in on like bicycles for the 91 like SummerSlam, when they won the tag team championships. And don't get me wrong, I love to see Hawk in that tiny little tank top.
Mm.
Love to see it. I really do. But the way that they did it, um just made it sound like they were like deaf retiring. Like
I
they were like on to greener pastures.
That's what I'm saying. I was scared the whole night because I was like, because at first I wrote before I knew the stipulation, I was like, an LOD vignette, and honestly, it's about time because since they've been back, it's not like we've gotten like a really good, juicy, like
Like in-depth story
vignette.
with them.
Yes, and I was like, finally, period. And then they were like, and by the way, they're retiring if they don't win. And I was like, no, 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 no. And the whole night, I was like, this is it. This is
Not what I
it.
wanted.
And I was like, I'm gonna be so pissed if they
Mm.
retire tonight. I'm gonna be so livid. I did not sign up for this. I did not consent to these terms. Where was the paperwork? My people needed to call your people and vice versa.
100%. They need to go
Who
back in
did
time.
this? Who did this?
No, fully.
Outraged.
Hmm.
But I am excited because so Raw switched to Netflix this week.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes, yes, yes.
And for
Um,
the first time in our entire time watching Raw, we actually found out what the lyrics were to the theme.
Oh, yes, 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 guys. The Raw is War theme that we've Kelsey and I for the last months and months and
Months.
months have
Months,
just been
Diva.
like mumbling along, just like because we find the song so funny because it's 3.5 seconds long, and it's I like find the song hilarious because it's just in the same vein as like dude wipes and just all marketing for men. It's just like grainy, like rough, like almost incoherent like adjectives
Dude wipes.
strung together. And so we're every time it comes on, we're just like trying to figure out what they're saying. We're like, "Hello? Are
And I'm
you
literally
with us?" Like ear to the ground. Like, can
like
someone please?
volume 100 trying to understand what this man is saying.
So please, Kelsey, enlighten us to the title of the song and a brief recitation of the lyrics.
Behind my eyes, arrogance and strength. I seek my courage and try to maintain. Everything in the room is barking at me. Freedom in a cage. I want to break free. Too much dark and not enough sky. Why am I the thorn in your eye? Too much dark and not enough sky. I have lost again, but I gotta maintain. Too much dark and not enough sky. Why am I the thorn in your eye? Thank you.
Amazing. Truly, why? Why, guys?
At
Why?
these, when I stare into the void and the
Mm,
void stares back at me,
right.
these are the questions I
Right.
ask.
When I'm floating in the ethereal plane, this is what I'm
Yes,
thinking about.
exactly.
That's amazing.
There is like a few more verses, but that's the one. Those are the
That's the
verses in the
in
title.
the
I'm not
gotcha,
gonna. We
gotcha.
don't need to do like an epic reading of the Odyssey right now. But
No, that's okay. We'll wait for Christopher Nolan to do that apparently. Um
oh, okay, I'm into that honestly though.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah. He's
I
actually I think that they're
really
making it. And apparently it's like the like the world's highest budget film ever.
and
Or
do
James
it.
is it Christopher Nolan or is it James Cameron? It's one of those two.
One
I
of
think it's
those.
Christopher Nolan. I hope it's that and not James Cameron. I'm
Me
okay.
too. Me too.
I'm
No
okay.
offense to James Cameron, but
No,
you
complete
got your
offense. Stop giving
coin.
me Avatar. Like I'm over it.
I did not need a number two Avatar. I'm not gonna
No,
lie,
I forgot
but
about it.
I
I forgot about it by the time we get to the sequel. So like you can keep that somewhere else. Thank you very much.
yeah, thank you. And I just reread for maybe the 100th time Song of Achilles
Mm,
by Madeline Miller. Love.
heard. I actually haven't read
Love.
that.
What? Oh
I
my God,
know,
Xavier.
shocking, considering the only things that I read are queer literature
Are
and
gay.
wrestling books, and that's it. So,
I'm shocked by this because you would love it. And also they have the audiobook on Audible, obviously. Audible, girl, I'm your number one fan. Let's talk. But
sponsor us.
they also have it now if you have a premium Spotify membership, they have it for free on
Oh, love that.
Spotify. And the narrator, Fraser Douglas, hey girl,
Hey, girl.
so good, so incredible,
Mm,
nails it. So if you just want to listen to it,
love that. Love
I
that.
actually just sent it to your brother. I was like, you should listen to this. And
Hasn't it?
he's read it. He's read
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
but
I
he
was
hasn't
like,
listened to
no,
it.
because it's like one of the few books, no shade to Alex, that he has read that I haven't already read.
Yeah,
So
well,
like he
yes.
was like, here, you should read this. And every time I'm like, and but I know that it's like a tearjerker. So like I just keep putting it off because I like I don't like have the emotional like bandwidth, especially during the holidays. It was not gonna happen.
I
Um,
understand.
so
But
now that things have kind of slowed down a little bit, maybe I can take myself through the that emotional roller coaster
it's
that
a
will
tear
eventually end with me crying in the shower. But continue.
yes, it's a tearjerker in the way though where you go like it's so beautiful.
Mm,
I would recommend listening to it if you don't want to, because really the narrator, he doesn't do like anything else because I've looked him up before. He does very minimal, but
mm.
he is so fierce as a narrator for this.
Love
I
that.
mean, incredible. So if anyone's also looking for a book recommendation, The Song of Achilles, fierce. But I've really been getting back into my Greek myth roots. I studied Greek myth in college for what was I going to do with that? But along with another degree. But I love Greek mythology, so that's fierce. Very exciting.
Love that. Love that. So we get what is supposed to be a Heart Foundation interview next. I say supposed to be because they literally got like no words in. Zero, zero
Uh,
talking points for the Heart
they
Foundation.
invited them down there just to get yelled at by other
No,
people.
no,
Said
fully,
not one
fully,
word.
fully. Because they make their way down. Vince literally just gets through the question and essentially is just like, here, comment on the antics of Shawn Michaels and all the craziness of the last couple weeks. Puts the microphone in front of Brett immediately. DX is on the Titantron. So like, hey girl, what's up?
He was like, "You want to comment on Shawn Michaels' behavior? I'm
I
right
was
here.
I was like, we can
Like,
comment about my
I'm
current
available for
behavior, right?
comment. Hello."
100%. And he's like, I know Survivor Series is going to be in your like your home court of like Canada, and like nobody loves Canada like Shawn Michaels. Nobody. Here, we have some footage for you, and it's just Shawn Michaels shoving the Canadian flag so far up his nose. Like, love to see it.
He
I was
is
like, all
so
right, you are
funny.
such an asshole, but I love it's so ridiculous. Um, then Triple H goes on to just be like to talk about their match last week and how Triple H like ends up on top, pulls out the victory. He's like, I'm younger, I'm better, and I'm bigger than you in more ways than one. And then Shawn immediately responds with, you could poke an eye out with that thing, and that's crazy. They've really
And
gone just full like just nothing but innuendos, and here we go. Let's go. We're on the ride.
it's just like I can imagine all four of them doing things
Right.
together.
Oh, absolutely. Love that. Love that
And
for
they love
everybody.
it and they embrace it and they enjoy
Hmm.
themselves and it's incredible.
Love to see it.
They're just too comfortable with each other. I'm like,
No,
mm-hmm.
fully. Nah, that's so funny. Brett, of course, gets like pissed and is like, oh, like if any one of you want to come down, I don't care which one, by all means. Triple H is like, oh wait, like I have like some footage for you. I would love to come down there and like kick your ass again. And he was like, oh wait, I already did that. And then like they all have like a little moment. They're like, so so ridiculous. Shawn Michaels goes, I beat you. I beat your brother. I beat both of your brothers-in-law. He's like, I'll beat up your whole family. Like, there's if you get in my face again. And I was like, oh, okay, Shawn, pop off. And then we
Fierce.
get the official naming of DX. I love this. It's like when you get like an album title in a song or the movie
Yes.
title like in a
In a
scene.
movie.
Yeah. So love to see it. So this was the official naming of DX. They like look at it. Sean's like, oh, like I'm tired of like Gen X getting like a bad rap. And then he references that Bret Hart keeps calling them degenerates, and he's like, is that what we are, Degeneration X? And he goes to like Hunter. He's like, are you a degenerate? And Sean's like, I know I am. And Hunter's like, well, I guess I must be. Um, so essentially, we end the promo with the classic, we are Degeneration X. You make the rules, and we will break them.
I
Uh,
love that.
no, absolutely. We love
That
to see it.
slogan is fierce. I love this whole thing. They cracked me up this
So
whole
funny.
episode. I said to Xavier, I was like, I feel bad because I love them so much. And Xavier's like, no. They're like literally the best faction that ever happens. Like,
Mhm.
don't
No,
like
don't feel bad. It's hilarious.
it's
Uh,
so funny.
and I love it because we'll get to like watch some like DX stuff later down the line once we're a little further in. Um, but it's basically that's just who they are. That's just the two of them just doing the things that they joke about backstage just in front of everybody.
I
Um,
love that. And you
yeah,
can it feels so authentic and real.
right,
And again, it's a link up I would not have foreseen if I didn't know what I know.
right,
And
right.
so for it to come out of the blue allegedly and then like China ravishing Rick Rude, I don't know.
It was
It
so
came
good.
together like peanut butter and jelly. Like on paper it doesn't make sense, but it's fierce.
No, 100%. And then we think we're gonna finally get like a response from the Hart Foundation, and the Nation of Domination comes. And it's like, actually, no, we're just gonna get our
Ding
match getting
dong.
started now. Thank you. Thanks. And so they come out and we're like, oh, I guess we're not gonna hear from the Hart Foundation today. It was so funny though, because they were just like talking about Bret Hart putting everybody to sleep. Mm, wild.
They basically called him Grampy. Like they were
Mm,
like, okay, whatever, Grandpa, you old ass bit. Like
right, 100%.
they were
Mm,
like, I mean, because even they said something that was like, oh, I used to watch him when I was a little kid. Like, or
hmm.
no, or was that later?
That was later
Whatever.
on. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah. But either way, it's just like it was it was like humiliating. Like
yeah.
they have
Hmm.
Bret Hart come out and then they just like let everyone insult him for 4 minutes and they're like, okay, now fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so this leads us into our opening contest, which is Owen Hart versus Kama Mustafa for the Intercontinental. This is a title match, which is
Uh,
hilarious.
I didn't
all
even
of
know.
all of the no, I'm sorry, all of the Heart Foundation is out there, all of the Nation of Domination is out there, so we already got like 7 extra people just chilling on the outside, and then DX comes out and like hangs out on the ring entrance, and just like I was like, oh, I'm gonna take this in. Hello. What's
And
happening out here?
And I just want to say, who else comes in and they play their music for them when they're not supposed to be there? Like when the Nation of Domination comes out to like creep on something like Ahmed Johnson's doing or Savio Vega, it's not like they play the Nation music.
No.
But they were like, play Sexy Boy, play it. They
No,
love
no,
that.
100. They
They're like,
love
put that
it.
shit on. They love
They
it.
bump it. They don't care.
They said crank it. Like the girlies love it. It's
That,
that is so insane to me. Like they
I
weren't even
know.
in the match and they were like, "No, introduce them. Do the whole
Right. I was
thing."
like, okay, sure, papa.
So
Um,
funny.
so I apologize to these men. I have no idea what happened in this match. Not gonna
None.
lie. So
None.
Shawn Michaels
Sorry to this man.
and and Triple H run over to the announce desk, snipe the headphones right off of the heads of JR and Vince, and just start just gabbing. The boys were on one today. They were talking about like Bret Hart and how he's like, he happened to be like on his back at that point in the match. He's like, look at him, classic Hearts, just always on their back in matches. It's crazy.
But they
And
also just said like they're always on their back, period.
no,
I
yeah,
was
that's
like,
also true. And you're like, oh. At one point, Hunter refers to Bret Hart as the droopy dog of the WWF, which absolutely killed me. Just in reference to Bret Hart's quote unquote boring promos. And then
oh,
Jerry, so full of
Jerry.
crap, his eyes are brown. Just trying to kiss just kiss that ass. He's like, ooh, they're the new hot thing. Let me suckle on that. And you're like, get the out of here. Get out of here.
Ew.
No
You
one
just want
wanted
to
that.
whack him on the nose with like a newspaper.
Yeah,
Bad.
bad. No, fully. Get out of here. And I love it because he's just like, oh, like what a great combo. Like the three of us, the three amigos. Like, look at this. And like, and honestly, it was embarrassing. It really was. It gave like coming of age movie, where like the nerdy guy is like really trying to like shoot his
He's
shot with the girl, and like she just like could not give a shit about him. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It gave like
She
very that.
he is LeFou and the world is
Oh my
Gaston.
God, you're so correct. You are wow,
It
that was
even looks
amazing.
like him.
No, 100%. You are not wrong.
And the way they were all like Jerry was doing whatever, and they all just went like, okay, like shut up.
No,
No one was
fully.
talking to you, and nobody even likes you.
No, fully. And I love that
Crazy.
Sean's immediate like first response was like, Jerry, who told you we were friends? Like,
Uh,
and I was like, oh, girl, been there, been there. Let me
no,
tell you,
literally.
let me tell you. But like, oh my God,
When like you're my best friend, I'm like, you're not
I'm
mine.
sorry.
Like
No,
who? That's
oh,
horrible. I'm so sorry.
no, fully.
But
Like, this is not that moment. This is not. You're not gonna
we're
bust into like, did my best friend? Like, you're not gonna do
no
it.
no
Like,
no no no
it's
no no no
not.
no 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 no.
Um. Yeah, no, no, thank you. So Jerry gets put in his place. Love to see it. Shawn has another comment about Stu Hart. He goes, Stu Hart's dead. His brain and his body just don't know it yet. And I was like, oh my God. Like,
Kind of funny though. I
no,
feel
it's
really bad.
so funny,
You're
but
like,
it's
he's just
so
walking around
mean.
Canada and he doesn't know he's dead.
That's horrible. Um,
I rebuke it,
no,
but it's
absolutely.
funny.
So they get like up on the table. They start like really antagonizing Brett. They're like eating bananas.
Bananas.
They're just they're eating bananas that Rick Rude provided, I guess. And
Like, is
they
that
start
what's
like,
in the briefcase?
I
Bananas?
guess so. I guess so.
All
Um,
right.
and so they get up on the table and like really start antagonizing Brett. They're like, giving him like the DX, like suck it, all that jazz. Brett finally is like, I've had enough. I've had enough. And as soon as Brett walks his happy little ass to the corner to go mess with Shawn, all of the nation is all over the Hart Foundation. So they start feuding. Shawn, being the absolute menace that he is just being real cute about it. He's just like he's laying on the floor with his hands like his face in his hands, like kicking his legs behind him, like he's daydreaming. Like, oh, it's so funny. He's
So
like
funny.
he's just being like such just adding insult to injury to the entire mess. And you're like, oh, here we go. At one point, after like the like bulk of the fray is over. DX is like making their exit. Shawn like runs back to the ring, like knocks something off of the ring apron, like a water ball or something, so that it landed on top of Brett and the rest of the Hart Foundation, and just like scurries out of the ring. And you're like, you are so petty.
He
Like,
is so funny. He's like a little cat that just went like
yeah,
squatted the little, oh my God. I'm so happy this is happening because it's like Shawn Michaels is like achieving nirvana. Like he is in his like form. Like he
yes,
is tapped
yeah.
into like that little
He's like perfect Frieza. It's very true.
period. I love because he is like that, like he loves to stir the pot of other people's shit and then just go like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Conflict erupting where I am at the front row to see
That's so crazy. Absolute
that.
insanity. Wow.
That is so,
Wow.
honestly, I get it.
Yo, for real. No, I get it. I get it.
So
Um,
great.
so the match gets thrown out. Sorry, to these men involved. Nobody was watching anyway because in the same way that I can't make a difficult turn without lowering down my music. I couldn't watch this match with all of that going on. So, like,
That is so real when suddenly you're looking for a house number and you're like, I can't see. I need to
no,
turn the music
no,
down.
I can't
What
see. It's too loud. And you're like, what? No, but that's
what is
that's
that?
that's what it felt like.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Because if you told me Kama Mustafa and Owen Hart were fighting, I'd be like, are you sure?
Hmm.
Oh, I guess. I can't believe that was the two of them.
Right.
Wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know. Couldn't like there was so much just antics and
Bananas.
900 bodies on the outside. Like could not. It might as well have been a
Yeah.
lumberjack match at that point. Um,
Period.
period.
So true.
So that takes us into a Godwins promo to kind of give us their 2 cents on the match tonight. They go, you just won the titles last week, like why risk it? And this was a short, sweet to the point promo from the Godwins.
Fine by
Great.
me.
Yeah. Basically it's just like we want to get rid of LOD once and for all. They go on to be like, "Oh, like we watched you in like when you were kids. But this our time is now. you had yours, and that's how it's gonna be. And you're like, okay, cool. Short, sweet, to the
I
point.
it was good actually,
Yeah.
honestly.
So pop off Godwins, love to see it. That takes us into our next match, which is a mini match with Max Mini and Nova taking on Tarantula and Mosaic. We've actually seen this exact match before. This happened like not
Exactly.
that week ago, like a couple
Well,
weeks ago, like maybe two.
was
Um,
this the match that they put in place of Brian Pillman, the vow renewal
yes,
thing? And they
yes,
were just
yes,
like,
yes.
let's do it again, but better.
Yeah, yeah,
No
yeah, yeah.
offense to the
No,
minis.
no offense to the minis, but yes, they did do it better this time.
They did.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. We got kind of got the same flavor of the match with it's like Mosaic and Tarantula like bumping into each other, like making mistakes. I even know
Hmm.
that's just like Max Mini is great. That little dude is so athletic. It's
Oh my God, it's
absolute
crazy.
insanity. He does moves like I couldn't even describe to you. So if you're interested, October 10th, or October 13th, 1997. Oh, for those of you who were following along on Peacock. We are so far into this episode now, but Raw has moved to Netflix. So if you are watching, you can find it if you just go and search Raw Vault. And then it's separated by year at that point.
Which I
So
kind of like that they did that,
I
actually. The
agree. Yeah,
separated
it's
by
a lot
year. I
easier to like keep track of.
Yeah.
1997 is not fully on there, so we will let you know where we're watching the episodes. But
Yes.
starting in 1998, every episode is on there.
Oh, and
So
we're at the end of 1997,
yeah,
sort
so
of.
we just have a little, couple months we gotta just kind of like sift through,
We'll
or
make
like kind
it.
of like hodgepodge. But once 1998 hits, everything's on Netflix. For those of you following along with the show. Um, so Nova performs a like a plancha or tries to and basically like lands on his head as another like notable moment of the match, which was pretty brutal looking
Hmm.
because he landed right on the top of his head. I was like,
It was
yikes.
no good. No, 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 no.
But our boy Max Mini gets like a small package pin. Love to see it. They win the match and yeah, they're on a roll. We love to see it.
Yeah, I
Um
I just want to mention also, I don't remember what it was about, but Jerry mentioned something about someone not having the testicular fortitude.
Oh yes, and that's a phrase that's going to come up like often.
Is it
Yeah, for some reason
testicular?
it becomes like adopted. I don't know what. I believe the actual in like expression is supposed to be like intestinal, like the guts, you know? Um, but testicular is crazy.
I said, and then I said, what fortitude testicular, testicularis. I was like, what is
That makes
that?
it sound very like Xenon girl of the 21st century.
And period.
Mm,
And let's bring it to 2025.
love to see it. Um,
Testicular fortitude.
I know, wild, wild. What a like just combo of words. Just a little word sandwich no one asked for.
Whew.
Um, so again, in the same vein as dude wipes. Um, testicular fortitude
Period.
by the same people that brought you dude wipes. Testicular
Testicular
fortitude.
fortitude.
God,
Yee.
imagine that as like a tramp stamp.
Oh, that like with an arrow like down for, but like on a man it'd be in the V, like in the
No,
front, like
fully.
testicular fortitude with the arrow down.
So
Ew.
terrible. So
None
terrible.
of you do that, please, not even as a joke.
No,
I'm
that's a sin.
begging.
That's an absolute sin.
That is a cardinal sin straight to hell.
So next we have a little segment that I'm actually quite excited about. We get a flashback to Shotgun Saturday, in a match between Flash Funk and Rockabilly. And
Oh,
we it cuts to a little moment when Road Dog, formerly Jesse James, Double J, um, comes out and basically like lets us know that he's going by Road Dog now. Which I love to see. We're finally gonna get like he can talk. He's a talker. And we're finally gonna let him just pop off. Which I love to see because he's got a mouth on him. I like it.
And from
Um,
coming from you, that is high praise.
oh, he's great. I enjoy it. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm
So so the
excited.
road dog comes out and basically he's like, "Yo, like, what are you doing with this? Like, what is happening?" Especially because during the match, um, why can't I think of his name? The Honky Tonk Man went to go help Rockabilly and inadvertently ends up costing him the match.
Which,
So Road
duh.
Dog's basically just like, "Yo, like, you're no fool. Like, let's team up." And then Honky's like, he's spoken for.
Like, what?
No, fully. It's like, yeah, when you like the jealous boyfriend in like a teen rom-com like pulls his girl closer, like
Yeah.
she's not, he's just very possessive. And then he's like, well, who are you gonna choose? Like really hitting us with that ultimatum. And it seems like Rockabilly is going to make the poor decision and stay with the Honky Tonk Man. And then the Honky Tonk Man goes, "I'll take care of your problem," and goes running after the Road Dog with a guitar, just like in the air, like he was wielding an axe. And when Rockabilly grabs it, smashes the Honky Tonk Man, which is what we've been waiting for the entire time. This combo made no sense. Billy hated it because you could tell.
You could tell.
And I didn't want to see it on my television screen. I really didn't.
No.
Um,
When Billy smashed that guitar on Honky Tonk Man, I felt the Horcrux die.
no,
Like he is free,
fully,
free
fully,
my
fully, fully.
bro from this man. Free
Um,
him.
so we will see the new formation of a new tag team. They will be known as the New Age Outlaws. And yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll just keep watching. We'll see how we get there. Um,
Okay, because I was like, wait, we have the new Blackjacks, the new like everyone
mhm.
just be who you are.
Right, right,
Just be who you
100%.
are.
We don't need a new and improve.
No, just yeah. But
Um,
whatever. I'm excited.
yes, 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 yes. It's very good. I
Everyone
like
is
it.
shedding those nasty whatevers they were doing.
They're getting rid of the like
The
where you're
gimmicks.
seeing, yeah, you're seeing like the shift away from all the hokey like 80s, early 90s, like I'm an occupation. And you're like finally seeing like some like characters.
I'm a
Don't worry,
person.
we'll still got some misses. I'm sorry, Recon and Sniper. But
Oof. I'm not.
but yeah, so that leads us into what is supposed to be our next match, because Flash Funk is a participant in that match. Flash Funk makes his entrance, and immediately we get Kane's music, Kane's red light. Kane and Paul Bear make their way to the ring. The Flash Funk looks absolutely terrified,
I would
scared out
be.
of his gourd, as he should be,
Me? Yes.
because that's a big boy. That's a big boy coming down.
Oh my God, he's so big. It's
Kane
scary.
one arm choke slams Flash Funk, tombstones him. Paul Bear grabs the mic and he's like a picture's worth a thousand words. He's like, Tigger, we're taking everything away. We are going to stroll through the WWF exactly like we said we were going to do until we get to you. And you are never going to rest in peace. And
Ashes to
which
ashes.
was a weird way to end it. Um,
Drama.
And then we get this like crazy like zoom on Kane's face, which I love that they've been doing because it's terrifying. It's
Ooh.
it's just as a shot, like it is a great camera angle. The lighting is scary, the mask is scary.
Oh my God.
So I love to see it. I think this
I
is
am so scared of him, but it's also like this. It's like,
Mhm. No, fully,
ooh.
fully,
Oh
fully,
my God,
fully.
I love him so much. Flash Funk also sold this so
So
incredibly.
well.
He was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Kudos to Flash Funk for
and
that.
it was like when he did try to fight him, it was like he was fighting for his life. He was like, I gotta do like defend myself or like
No, fully. He's like get or get got is
this.
what he said.
Yes, kill or be
Um
killed. I mean, and honestly, Paul Bear, fabulous. I hate to say it and I hate to give it to him, but this is it. I love this
Right.
so much. And what's it because again, Netflix put the name of the song of Kane's entrance. It has like a crazy, like a weird name.
Oh, I bet it does. But it was also made for him. Like,
Fierce.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Um,
love this.
yes. I love what happens next because I think it's just so funny. Once Kane and Paul Bearer have left the building and it is uh deemed safe, Shawn Michaels comes down and DX comes down. And he just kind of like sneaks into the ring. He's like, hey. Um, and then so DX assumes the positions of all of the officials at ringside. China becomes the timekeeper. Triple H is the referee, and Rick Rude is our special guest ring announcer.
Fierce.
Sorry, Sonny, we're coming for you. And so Shawn Michaels pins Flash Funk, gets the 3 count by Triple H. China rings the bell, and Rick Rude hits us with that announcement. And he is out here, he being Shawn Michaels, celebrating like he just won a marathon. He's just like
He's like
losing his mind. He's like out, the
he
fake
did like
stretching is so crazy. The like
oh
around the
my God.
world abdomen stretch
He's
he
like
did was obscene. He's like patting the sweat off of his brow. Can't can't deal.
so funny. And China ringing the bell where she was just like bing.
And it's so
Love.
funny. And then on commentary, JR is like, "Oh, she's a timekeeper now. Oh, she got like multiple.
Oh,
She's wearing
honestly,
multiple hats."
which is what which is what we do today when we go, oh, so you're a timekeeper now.
No,
Oh, okay.
100%.
Because
It's the I every time I do that, I think of oh, so you want to talk
talk
about
about mama.
mothers. That's the like the cadence I want.
Oh, so you
Oh.
want to talk about mother.
No,
No,
fully.
100%. Oh, so
Uh
you're a timekeeper now. Okay.
period. Love to see it. So DX are really on one tonight. Um And that takes us into our next match. It is a tag team match between 8 Ball and Skull and Recon and Sniper. This, it could not sound like an 8-year-old picked 4 action figures from his toy chest, placed them on a table, and was like, here, 8 Ball and Skull versus Recon and
It
Sniper.
sounds like what was it sounds like Beyblades. Like
Fully. And which is an insult to Beyblades.
absolutely. I was gonna say, and no disrespect to the Beyblade community, but
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like the name. Whatever. You guys know
Well,
what I
okay.
mean.
So, this one, couple things. No idea what happened in the match. Sorry,
None.
everybody.
None.
Um, the DOA is back on their bullshit with the bikes. Um,
Oh,
and the Truth Commission has, for some reason, like ditched the
the
German
commandant.
mouthpiece. There we go, the Commandant. I forgot his name.
Yeah,
The Commandant, and I don't know if they've replaced him or if he's supposed to be like a new member of the Truth Commission,
I
but the
gotta
truth
go.
is, Jackal, you looking crazy. You looking
Jackal.
wild. There is no reason this like George of the Jungle knockoff is out here with the Truth Commission. These like super soldier like people. Like,
It's
what
it's
is this?
Donnie from the Wild Thornberries grew up. And I love
Absolute
Donnie from the Wild
insanity.
Thornberries, but that's what he looks like.
Yeah,
I'm like, hold on, hold on. First of all, it's spelled wrong, of course.
right,
Jackal. And like again, it went from the commandant, who is literally like their commanding officer
right.
of these super soldiers with the weirdest names, to Jackal, who looks like the Wile E. Coyote came to life.
That's what I'm saying.
What is happening? I literally go, who the hell is Jackal?
I literally just have my note for this is just Jackal question mark. Like who, where, why?
Why? And
You
why are
you
we
have to answer the questions. Like you can't just like do
and
stuff.
here's Jackal.
Right. Right.
What?
Since okay.
Like I was gonna go, oh, okay. What do you mean? Who
Who
the
are you?
did he
Who
like
are you?
assassinate the commandant? Like, what is happening? I need more information, but
Absolute.
also, do I want more information
No,
on
no.
who
And I don't think the
actors?
commentators wanted more information either because they spent about 10 minutes. This match was not 10 minutes. They spent about half the match discussing like Bill Clinton and his like
Oh,
many possible like affairs. And at one point they're
his
talking about the
30-year-old
Attorney
feud.
General Janet Reno and Jerry. Jerry goes, Janet Reno has so little sex appeal, her gyno calls her sir. And you're just like, holy shit. Like, do you know this woman personally? Like, has she like personally rejected you? Because that is mean. That is so her gyno calls her sir. I was like, oh, like, why? Why? Like,
The two of us went like,
I
what
cackled.
did oh my
I
God.
witch cackled. Like,
We paused. We never pause.
no.
We rarely ever pause. And we were like, hold on, cut
Mm-hmm.
the tapes, cut the track. What did he just say? Her
Yep.
gynecologist calls her sir.
Yeah. He
That is a
also
read.
had a quippy little one-liner about he's like, "Oh, like Vince, like you've had enough dealings with the Justice Department. I bet you know her personally."
I
And
bet you know her on a first name basis. Oh,
"Oh my God, this is crazy.
Jerry saying
Crazy."
that, and then the audacity to air out Phil Mushnik in like 20 minutes.
No,
Like,
so crazy.
girl, but oh my, honestly, it's mean, but wow, what a read.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is creative, it's hurtful, it's funny.
Mm.
I'm sorry. I feel bad. It's bullying, but my God, I
Look,
laughed really
dude, when
hard.
it's good, it's good. I don't know
It's,
what to tell
I
you.
can't, what do you want me to say? I'm sorry.
I laughed.
I laughed.
The match was, as far as I'm concerned, it was really hard hitting. I think the point of it was to make um the Truth Commission look tougher. We just haven't seen enough of them to like really like get a good feel of them. They
Not
did do some
Jackal.
like shotgun Saturday like replay of like the other one. Um
Interrogator.
yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
The
No.
really big one.
Yeah, with the neck. Um and how he was like basically going like ape shit all over Shotgun Saturday. So sure. The
Sure,
Truth
Jan.
Commission gets disqualified when Jackal pulls the rope so that 8 Ball like falls over. And then the referee obviously sees it and he's like, yo, hey, you with the
No.
hair. No.
He's
Um,
so obvious.
well, he's which one of these is not like the other? It's you.
Swear. But
Like
like he tried to dress exactly the same as them too. Like he was still wearing the green shirt, khaki pants, but
right.
he gave more like instead of military, he gave like jockey.
Right.
I was like, who is this? I
No,
don't
yeah.
know.
Oh,
Whatever.
who is this? Great question. So the match gets thrown out. The disciples of the apocalypse win by disqualification, and it ends in a giant brawl. Because
What else is no?
yeah, it's the land of the factions. So here we go. Next we get Stone Cold Steve Austin. Love to see it. He's coming to resolve the proposition essentially that he laid out last week, where he was like, I'm not signing nothing, Vince, until you promise me what I want, which is Owen Hart for the Intercontinental Championship at the Survivor Series. So Austin comes out looking like a stud. Love to see it.
Uh, some woman
And
had a sign that just said "Stun me, Stone Cold," and I was like, "Me as hell."
same. So, stun me, Steve.
Stun me, Steve.
So, of course, Vince is in the ring to resolve the issue. I love that before the music even like cuts, Stone Cold like grabs the clipboard from Vince's, like looks it over and it's like, and like hands
And
it
he's
back
like, mm,
and like hands it back. Yeah,
fierce.
so funny, so funny. Basically Vince lays it all out. He's like, this is what you want. You have to sign this piece of paper. And then Stone Cold's like, you first. You first. I don't trust you as far as I can throw you. You're gonna sign this little piece of paper first.
I think that's
Uh,
fair.
And he goes, all right. So Vince signs it, and then like Austin like goes to like leave. He's like, okay, sick. And Vince stops him. He's like, you don't get what you want until you sign this. And we're like, okay, all right, we're playing a little chess. Love to
Hmm.
see it. So Austin like makes a show of it, goes up to the top rope, signs it. So it is official. It is going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Owen Hart at their Survivor Series for the Intercontinental Championship. And then Stone Cold goes, there's only one thing left to do. And we're all like, oh shit, here we go. He's like, you just have to shake my hand and it'll be official. And he's like, don't be looking at me all stupid, making a mess in your pants. Like, you don't got to do all that. Just shake my hand. And uh, yeah. So at one point, so he shakes his hand. Vince goes to like let go and like turn. Austin pulls him back, and he's like, I could drop you just like that. And don't you forget it. And like lets him go. And then Vince stops Austin before he leaves, and he's like, I know you told me last week that it was none of my business, but like, why did you get involved in that match between Owen Hart and Farouk? And Austin goes, Stone Cold gets what Stone Cold wants. I want Owen. I want the Intercontinental Championship, and I want it real quick.
Like
Um,
right now.
100%. He's like, so Stone Cold does what he's got to do to get his, essentially. And of course, Farouk's like, excuse me. Um,
I'm sorry, what?
no, 100%. He's like, oh, you just do what you want. Okay, got it.
Hmm.
Farouk comes out, and of course, he's big pissed. He's like, no. He said something about like, I thought you knew what was gonna happen if you like go into the other side of the tracks. He's like, and then he's like, on the other side of the tracks, there's like not all these nice houses. There's not this, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
And then he goes on and he tells Stone Cold that he's like, you sacrificed your ass as soon as you did that, to the nation and to me. And we're like, oh, okay. And then Stone Cold goes, well, come on down. He's like, you can bring any one of your little buddies. Like, you guys can just come. It should be easy work. I have a broken neck. Should be
Hmm.
easy peasy for one of you to come down and do something. And you're
Hmm.
like, oh my God, this
But
nigga.
like to add insult to injury, the whole time Farouk was talking, he's like holding Stone Cold is holding his ear like, what?
What?
And then he
Yeah,
goes, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't understand a word of that, but if one of you wants to get down here and fight me, you may.
right.
Come
He's
on.
like, you seem kind of pissed. Interesting. So yeah. Love to see it. So of course Rocky volunteers, eager beaver,
Of course.
um ready to prove himself, runs his ass down, gets immediately stunned, and then of course that prompts the nation running down the ramp, and Austin is like, oh, bye, and leaves. Just leaves out the crowd, as he is
I
known to do.
he runs out into the crowd and he's just literally running up the aisle like this, like with his arms up, and there's just like a mob around him running after it. Like
Mm-hmm.
he is the Messiah.
No,
Like he is
really.
the wrestling Messiah, and everyone's just like,
It's his world.
Muad'Dib.
We're all
It's
just
like
live. No,
he is
literally, it's
literally Paul
Dune.
Atreides in Dune. I swear to God, he's literally like Muad'Dib. I just reread Dune also, but like they're literally like the Kwisatz Haderach. Like
No,
it's so
fully. They
crazy,
love him.
and run after him like,
They're like, they like his shit don't stank, not to them. Mm-mm.
him, them jorts, that vest, that leather vest with no shirt
Mm-hmm.
against everybody.
Love to see it.
Everybody. And they love it. And they is me. Me is they.
He is there. So next we get a Legion of Doom promo. This one's a much different Legion of Doom promo than we are typically accustomed to. It was a lot quieter, a little more reserved. Basically, animals like we find out if we've got like the fire and desire to like get it done. He's like, we don't want to rest on our laurels, like Hulk Hogan or the Macho Man. And I was like, oh, period.
He's shots fired. He said, I am naming names.
No, fully, and I love to see it. And he goes, and then he turns it to Hawk. And this is, I think, the only promo that doesn't start with "well."
They were
So
so sincere. It was freaking me out. I was literally
yeah,
like, I don't like this. Like, what is happening?
but what a like good choice though. You know what I mean?
Haters. Yeah.
Because realistically, like if your like your dream career is on the line, like you probably aren't going to be that like well.
I
Um,
love them.
so Hawk goes, today we find out if we're the king of the hill or over the hill. And that's how we leave it. Um, so
They're
good.
so
So
real
good.
for that. They got me.
Um,
They got me, bitch.
mhm.
I was literally like, if this happens, I'm flipping a table. Like, I'm gonna be so mad.
Amen. So next we have a light heavyweight match between Brian Christopher and Tajiri. I love Tajiri. Love to see it.
Love
Uh,
Tajiri, not Brian Christopher. Ew.
and then they set us up with like they tee us up for the next segment, which is going to be Jim Cornette talking about Phil Mushnik. When Jerry asked Vince, he's like, "Oh, like what do you think of Phil Mushnik?" And Vince on the air goes, "I think Phil Mushnik is a miserable son of a bitch," and like they had to like bleep it,
Bleep.
like
He said,
crazy.
well, I think, and he said it like he was like, I am not going to have any of my words be mixed up. He was like, I think Phil Mushnik is a miserable son of a bitch.
And you're
Like,
like, he
took
didn't
his
no mincing the words.
woo crazy.
Yeah, this was crazy. Um, uh, this match was this match was cool. I love Tajiri. It's really the light heavyweight division is just really getting their legs under them. I have a note that just says the real Jackal is Brian Christopher because of that laugh. Like,
Wait, that's so
no,
real.
so real.
If he had gone that route, I might actually hate it less.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you like were to lean into it as like that's like your shtick, I like it's still annoying, but at least I like understand it. You just interjecting it like as just like I don't I'm not comfortable with the silence like is not it. So can't do it.
Ew.
Tajiri's like outpacing Brian for like the beginning part of the match. Jerry's big piss that JR keeps going on with the son comments. I have never seen a man deny like his own sperm this much in ever in my
It's
life.
insane.
I like what is this? Like I know we've talked about this
At
like at
length.
nauseum like
Yeah.
like but like give it up, bro. Give it up.
Cause like if I was at this point, I would make it a story where like Brian Christopher like turns on him and is like, okay,
Why don't you love me?
claim me as your child.
He could
Like,
literally take the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air speech where Will Smith is talking to his uncle about why his father doesn't want him. Why did he want me, man? So
oh God. Make me cry and throw up like all at one time.
well, he'd certainly be the most endearing he's ever been.
They might make a believer out of me if he did that.
So
Imagine was
crazy.
like, okay, wait, like stop the match. Stop the match. Am I your kid or not?
No, fully. Like, what
Like,
is this?
what are you doing?
So
Yeah.
crazy. Mm-mm. Um, Tajiri does a what will be a signature like a flying back elbow where he does like a front flip and then into a back flip and then hits him with the elbow.
What a
Love to see
crazy
it.
person.
I know it's fantastic. Um, at one point, Brian Christopher jumps off the top rope and like lands just straight up on his knees,
His
and I was
knees.
like just thunk.
Hard.
And I was like,
Huh.
"Eee."
I felt like his like hip bones would just
We're gonna
like
shoot up through his
yeah,
head.
like,
Yeah, no, fully,
like he
fully.
was just gonna be a torso, like with his femurs right next to his head.
Ooh,
Like,
crazy.
I
Um,
horrible.
yeah, Tajiri hits a very impressive brain buster and follows it up with a standing moonsault because A1 that guy
Because
because it was just delightful.
because
Uh,
and that is the only reason you need.
Please, moving on. Um, Brian Christopher rolls up Tajiri and pulls the tights to get the victory.
Piece of trash.
Trash.
Garbage.
And I love that JR, like, the whole time is like, he's got the tights. And Jerry's just like, what? Huh? What?
JR's like, filth, heathen. And Jerry's like, what? That's not even my kid.
That's a
I don't
winner.
even know him.
That's a winner. He's like, that's a winner. And I'm
That's a winner.
I'd love to see it. What a fucking fool. Next. All right, so we're going to get into another one of Jim Cornette's like
the way I
ranting
just
and
got so
raves.
serious. I was like,
Ranting and raves. So basically, Jim Cornette was just set loose on Phil Mushnik. We all know from the steroid trial episode. If you don't know, you can find it after dark, the steroid trial. Phil Mushnik pops up a few times in the show. He is a columnist for the New York Post and is a vocal adversary of Vince McMahon
he is
and the WWF.
the number one participant in the Vince McMahon haters club.
No,
like he is the president of the Vince McMahon haters club, and reluctantly, like he doesn't even want to do it. Like
right, he just like honestly, so basically, Jim Cornette's like, this man just has a one-man crusade like against wrestling, and he hates wrestling and wrestling fans, and then he goes on to like quote, like literally pull quotes from Phil Mushnick's like articles where he calls wrestling fans like the disenfranchised subculture of America. And he goes on to be like, if you're like allowing your kids to like watch this, then like clearly you don't know how to parent. These kinds of things. And then Jim Cornette basically like wraps it up on his high horse, as being like, we don't want to hear from like some pompous, self-righteous like dude with a vendetta. And then basically ends it, which is like, go to hell, Phil Mushnick. And the whole thing was just like, I was with like, I just like hearing Jim Cornette like speak. Like the promo itself was good. Like if you're just like, the promo was good. The content,
no,
questionable. Questionable, knowing what we know now.
Right, yeah,
because he does not have all of this information, obviously,
right. And I so that was why I felt weird about it. Not weird, but like I was like, I just, because he mentions at one point like Brian Pillman's death and saying like, this is another case. Like if baseball, I guess Phil Mushnick had said like, if baseball players drop dead the way wrestlers do, there would be like a national inquisition or something.
Yeah, national like investigation. He's like, no.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, literally, we talked about this. The statistic at this time was that more wrestlers died under the age of 40 than professional football players.
Right.
Like, that is really crazy. Like, it is like crazy and upsetting, and like, just how are we not like noticing it, you know? So like part of me is like I don't think we had to call, like, I don't think you have to call wrestling fan, like, because he literally says like, if you show your kids wrestling, like, I'm not even upset with you, you're too dumb to know what's right and wrong, so there'd be no point, which is a crazy thing to say. But like, I don't know, I feel so conflicted about it, because like, he's not wrong, but Phil Mushnick.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to clarify for.
Yes, I'm sorry. Phil Mushnick is not wrong. Like, there were a lot of glaringly, horribly wrong things happening.
Yes.
But again, like, we just know things we know. Like, it's hard to look at it without being like, well, we know, we have more information now than we did then, which is like the obvious stupid thing to say. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I kind of get it, where it's like, if this was any other professional sport, we would be paying more attention to this. Like, it would be right. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I like really don't even have the
But I
words
also
for it.
like, I do like, I'm also like, this man's like life's work is like putting out articles like against the
Which
WWE.
to me does not make sense. Like that to me is like a weird thing
That
where it's we could have done other things. Like
yeah, to me this feels like like it I don't know if I necessarily like think that either side is like not playing to their like worst common denominator, like their worst qualities. Like,
right.
like my thing is like, while he like Bill Moshnick brings up like obviously like points that should have been looked at, um, there's clearly a lot of like vitriol and like bitterness and like about the whole thing as like a whole. Like, because
Yes.
now you're like, not only are you like being like, hey, these things like should be like looked at, but like you're also just like to also insult anybody that watches it or enjoys it or has participated in it. And it's just like it's not it's been around for so long at this point. Like it's not
Yes.
new, So I
Yes.
don't know. It
I
feels
was I
weird.
think the problem is that it doesn't come from a place of concern.
It doesn't feel
Like
like it at
it
least.
comes right. It because it could be, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like it comes from a place of like malice and like trying to one up like for example Vince McMahon like trying to like take down somebody as opposed to be like hey like maybe we should pay attention to the fact that like wrestlers need better like you know
Care, time
things in
off,
place
like
time
they
off rest medical attention
mhm.
like it
All the
and
things they're getting now,
and
but like
also
don't like was not a
yes
thing.
and also, like, it's not the responsive, and I guess you could make the argument that like if fans continue to support it, like the thing stays in place. But it's like it's not a wrestling fan's fault that the upper like management of wrestling is not taking care of the wrestlers. But at that point, it's like then appeal to the fans and be like, if you love this and you care about this, like that's your business, but like you should be paying attention to the fact that like the people you love and are rooting
Are
for
being
and supporting
exploited.
and are being exploited. Yes. Like I feel like could have it could have come from a different angle than just like you said vitriol and like just two men screaming at each other. I don't
That yeah,
know.
and that's how it like feels. And like there's just so much bitterness from the whole like steroid trial to just like do I don't know. It also just felt weird to go like I get why he was going for WCW like on television. Like I get it.
Yes, of
Like
course. Yeah.
that tracked for me.
It brings
This
views, it brings whatever. Like,
not for nothing, but it's like you literally started this promo with be like, you probably don't know who he is. And it's like, okay, then why are you cutting a 5 minute promo on him then?
again, it's you know what it is too. It's like when we watched the Monday Night Wars, or at least part of it, they said like if Vince had never even paid attention to WCW, but he kept making it like his life's work to like take them down or
Hmm.
whatever. It's
Yeah,
like
at this point though, WCW was
like
fully we this at this point like WCW was like giving away results of WWF live on
right. They
air
like
and
had
like
to say something.
yeah,
Yes. But it was that's why Jim Cornette going after WCW was fierce because it felt like we're still in the world. Like we're
right.
still in wrestling and like bringing in Phil Mushnick and being like you don't even know who this is and blah 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 but like this is how much we hate him. Like I don't know. I didn't find it necessary. And again, I love when Jim Cornette goes off and I love to
Right.
see the girlies scrap. We all know this. If you've been
But it
watching the
but
show, you
but
know.
like
But
technically Phil's not a girly. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be able he's not
exactly.
gonna be able to like come out next week and cut a promo. Like yeah, he'll be able to like
That would be
write
so funny,
write the
honestly.
articles that he writes, but it's like I want and I know like wrestling when it's at its best is like blurring the line of reality and like fiction, but this is
Yes.
just like I don't know, it just felt weird. It just felt like I thought like the promo itself was fun to listen to, I guess, but it's like if you actually like know what we know today and like just all of the events that have like unfolded and have like honestly very much so needed to be like looked into. It's like,
Yeah. And also, even if you, and I know we have to move on to other things, but I also, if you, it's not like the wrestlers weren't doing steroids. They were
mhm.
just like Vince and the WWE were just not guilty of providing them. Like, it's not like it was not happening. It's just like,
Correct.
so it's a weird situation because it's like, again, it's not like it didn't happen. It's just the like those specific people and the organization of wrestling of WWE like was not implicated or not implicated but not guilty for providing.
Right.
But it still happened.
Right.
So it's just a weird, I don't know, it's weird. It's too nuanced, I feel like, to bring up at in a wrestling match where it's like there's not really supposed to be that much nuance in it where it's like that's the bad guy, that's the good guy, that's like to
Yeah.
bring up so much ambiguity. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. It's like a lot. And there's a lot of like pieces that like it's just like you don't like this is a like a journalist like this I don't know. The average person like watching at home like doesn't care about this. Doesn't know,
And
doesn't
they're
care. Like and you as like a first time viewer, if you didn't have the background knowledge of who Phil Mushnik was because we watched a whole documentary where he was like multiple documentaries where he was heavily like featured, like you wouldn't give a shit about this promo either. Like it wouldn't make
no.
any sense to you as a new wrestling fan. Like it
Yes.
really wouldn't.
And also, Raw tonight was where was it? Topeka, Kansas?
Yes.
And Phil Mushnick writes for the New York Post.
Right.
Girl, what are we
I'm
doing?
like
I
I
know that the New
know
York Post is distributed. Like I know that, but
that
I'm
and I
just
know
saying
like
like
so is the show, but like regardless, like mm,
yeah, I don't know.
weird one.
Wasn't for
Weird one
me.
this week. Weird one this week. Hopefully next week we get something a little bit more relevant to wrestling or anything that's going on storyline wise. Next, we have a match between Savio Vega and Goldust. Um, I so crazy. My first note is Vince McMahon saying, they were talking about like Hulk Hogan because they were coming off of the previous like little promo bit. And they were
Right?
talking about like Hulk Hogan having a new movie coming out. And Vince goes, the only thing worse than watching the Hulkster try and act is watching him try and wrestle, I guess. And you're like, oh, damn.
And that
That
shade is fierce, actually. I thought that was really
that and it's just like
well struck.
it's just so funny because they were besties. Like they were
Besties.
besties. They were just like up each other's little booties for all of the 80s and the early part of the 90s. And boy, how that changed.
The steroid trials really ripped them apart,
No,
girly.
fully. Um
Crazy.
my next note just says Goldust and Marlena are so back,
We're so
baby.
back, girl. I love that they didn't comment and like they literally, and this is horrible, but they are like pretending Brian Pillman never happened.
Right.
Like they kind of like had this little reunion moment where they Goldust walks out and he's like carrying Marlena like wedding style
Yeah, like through
and
the
like walking
threshold.
in, but they don't mention Brian Pillman at all.
Yeah.
Like not even once. Not like through they're reunited, la la la. They didn't say that at all.
We were
They
just
were
like, oh,
just
Marlena's here.
she's back.
Right.
Great.
Moving on. So yeah, no, it's crazy. I thought this one was fun. I
I liked
enjoy
this.
both parties of this match a lot. Um uh Jerry made a good point on commentary when he goes like this is the first match that Goldust like could actually just focus on the match in months, which is great.
Swear.
At one point Savio corners Marlena with her back to the ring steps, and it looks like Goldust is gonna come up and make the save from behind and Savio kicks him right in the face. It was
Mm.
amazing. It was
I
like the timing was
that man can kick, bitch.
yo, for real.
I anytime Savio Vega lifts up that leg, it's over.
No,
He always lands that kick. It's crazy.
100%. Savio at a later point hits another spinning heel kick, goes for the pin, and this boy is like climbing up the ropes with his feet. And the referee's like, hello.
He
I
looks like he had his legs positioned like he was an ice skater and like being held up. Like, when their feet are
fully, yeah,
like his toes were so pointed and he was
no,
like, what?
absolutely. And you're like, girl, and the ref's like, I can see you.
Like,
Like,
he was so obvious about it, like performative
no,
about it. It was like
100%.
so silly.
So the match ends when Marlena throws her cigar into the ring as a distraction, allowing Goldust to absolutely deck Savio Vega with the little gold purse. Goldust gets the pin and gets the win.
We
Love to
are
see
so
it.
back,
We are
girl.
so back,
The brick
baby.
in the gold purse. We're so cigars, the director's chair, the gold dress, the hair. We're so back.
Love to
Thank
see it.
God.
No, thank God. Thank God. Um, Next, we have what is supposed to be Triple H versus the Patriot. And so Triple H comes out, makes his entrance, doing the grand thing. The Patriot comes out, waving that flag as he does, and I love this. Rick Rude just so nonchalantly just like walks up behind him, and like I love the juxtaposition of the Patriot waving like a frantic mess, and Rick Rude just like taps him on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey, buddy." And he has like a cup of coffee in his hand, and he just goes, "Here," like just chucks it right in his face, and
Fierce.
then beans him in the back of the head with that briefcase. He said, "Hey, what's
He
up?"
said, "Ba ba."
That was crazy. I loved it.
And honestly, kind of hot when he was
Loved
like
it.
standing behind him, just like drinking his little coffee, and then he went, "Hey."
It's
Oh
so
my
so
God. I
good.
was like, woo. Because you guys know how I feel about the Patriot. Don't even start with
Hmm.
me. I
Don't
loved
even.
this.
So, of course, HBK, he takes the role of the special guest ring announcer. Sorry, Sonny. And he starts just announcing that victory for Triple H. He's like, "Oh, here is our
Hard
winner."
one.
Yes, hard fought victories all around for DX. Of course, Sergeant. I say, of course, because it should be a thing that happens way more often. But
Girl,
Sergeant Slaughter comes down, and he's like, "Hey, I love this that anytime Sergeant Slaughter like speaks now, that Shawn and Triple H are just trying to like block the spittle. I think it's hilarious. It doesn't get old to me, because they
it's really
commit so
funny.
hard. You know
Like,
what I
it's
mean?
so extra. They're like,
No,
like,
fully.
so
Just
funny.
wait, it gets better. It gets better. So crazy. Yeah, DX blocking the spit. Sergeant Slaughter goes on to be like, "You have no respect for the fans, no respect for the wrestlers, no respect for me, no respect for Vince McMahon, blah blah blah." And then he goes like, "I demand respect." And Shawn Michaels goes, "All right, Sarge, we'll start showing you respect. Suck it." And like that gets bleeped. Love to see it.
So funny.
And I love it. They're just
They're two 11-year-old boys.
honestly, and it's so funny.
So
Um
funny.
so we find out that the replacement is going to be Ahmed Johnson, and we're like, okay, cool, sick.
Fierce love. Love to see
Great. Love
it.
to see it. He's coming out in his civvies. All right, cool.
Hey.
It's fine because he's always like basically dressed to wrestle anyway. Um,
He was the original athleisure king.
no,
And he
100%.
has
He's an Adidas.
fierce. Yes. Yes. And he has fierce athleisure. I love when Ahmed Johnson is in his civilian clothes.
Love to see it. Love to
I
see it.
I would love to emanate that comfy.
So poor guy can't make it 3 steps down the ramp before all of the nation comes out and attacks from behind. Absolute chaos. Um, yeah, so the nation is attacking Ahmed Johnson. They bring him down to the ring to continue the beatdown. DX, of course, escapes. They run all the way to the top of the ring entrance and start eating popcorn like they're watching the best movie they've ever seen.
So
Like
funny.
it's so ridiculous. Um, yeah, so they're just being asshats at the ring entrance. Um, and that's when LOD and Ken Shamrock come out to like save the day.
Which was so funny because when Generation X is like sitting there eating the popcorn, and when you see like LOD and Ken Shamrock run out, they go, "Ooh!" Like they just get past them. So
They're
funny. They
so
are
good.
so funny. I love them.
Yeah, I'm telling like it's like I know they're supposed to be like bad guys, but it's just like it's so outlandish and like nobody knows what to do with them, which just makes it even funnier. Like it's so good because like the fuddy-duddies that they're like placed next to can't just makes it so much better.
Swear. And honestly, the like Captain Fuddy Duddy for me right now is Sergeant Slaughter.
No, absolutely.
Someone said on
Fuddy Duddy
commentary,
Supreme. Like
the Supreme, when he was out there, someone on commentary said like the commissioner's like really flexing his authority lately. And I go,
where
lately?
he been?
Authority? Who are you talking about?
I love that they just pick and choose when this man shows up. Not for
When,
nothing, but they literally, this just happened. This just happened with Shawn Michaels and Kane earlier this evening. No, oh,
hello?
you didn't
Like,
want to come out and interrupt Kane, Sergeant?
you,
What? You didn't have nothing to say?
you
What?
don't have the gall, the
What?
testicular fortitude to get up
That's
there.
what I'm saying. We love a
I,
callback.
I swear, I'm like, they just pick and choose when he matters, and then goes, "I demand respect." Okay, man, this is so man. I don't
Just
like
so
it.
man,
You do
showing
nothing
up
to
when you feel like it, doing the bare minimum, and asking for
asking me
all the
for my.
respect. I, mm, mm,
I'm
mm,
sick. I'm sick. I can't do it. Get out of here.
Facts, big facts. So at the end of that little skirmish, Hawk grabs the microphone. He goes, "Godwins, if you got any guts, get your ass down here because we got business. We got
Eh,
business." And he stands on it. That's for damn sure.
period.
Again, the stipulation of this match is LOD, win the titles or retire. Uh, LOD, very tan,
Oh,
very
I
tan.
love them.
I was like,
I
okay,
love them.
pop
Not
off.
shocking, but yeah, the tan is always right, especially
Hmm.
on Hawk. No,
Animal,
Animal. On
and yeah,
Animal, the tan is always right.
yeah, he don't play.
He is basically a meatball on Jersey Shore.
Hmm.
Like he said GTL.
I'm a good person. Um,
I went on one ride. God bless me, it's summertime. My favorite quote of all time is God bless me, it's summertime.
so
Because if
good.
that ain't me, I don't know.
I don't know what is. Oh shoot, love to see it. So LOD controls like the early part of this match. We get a fat power slam from them. Love to see it. Phineas just like at one point loses his mind and just starts like pounding on like Hawk like just for like days. We're like, are
Are
you
you
trying to make
well?
butter? Like what's happening? um Crazy.
Because that
And then
also goes with like their brand.
no,
Their-
absolutely the Godwins. That's what you do, right? So so crazy. Yeah, shout out to Mosh and Thrasher for that one. That will never not be
Mhm.
funny.
Never ever.
Animal is driven into the ring steps on the outside, and it looks like he is injured. Boy comes the officials come out. He's like down for the count. And they slowly but surely start taking them off. Taking Animal to the back. Um,
Horrible.
Crazy. The Godwins slop drop the ref because why not? The other two refs don't see it because they're helping Animal to the back. How? I don't know. Because the match is playing on the Titantron that they are facing.
Hello.
Second, um, the cue for Animal to turn around is him seeing the match on the Titantron. So again, not sure how they missed it.
Gigantic
Um,
plot holes left and right, but
no, just giant craters of plot. Um, and so Animal comes in, starts wiling out as he does. The LOD gets the
Fierce.
upper hand. It looks like they're going to do the Doomsday device. Um, when the Godwins get the better of them, Cletus comes in, and it looks like he is going to use the horseshoe on one of the Legion of Doom members. When he misses, hits Henry right in the gob. Love to see it. um Hawk hits a top rope clothesline, uh gets the pin, and LOD win the tag team championships. Love to see it. The
I
crowd, the pop, crazy.
crazy.
Crazy. That
It was
LOD
me.
pop is unreal.
Woo.
Unmatched,
To
really and
be
truly.
to be in the room. I wish you guys could have seen me watching this because I was flipping out.
She was going through it. She
I
was
was
going
going
through
through
it.
it because I was like, Animal's leaving, and I was going, no, 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 no. And then when I saw him see on the Titantron, I was like, do it, Animal, do it. And when he like turned around and ran back in, I was like
No, honestly,
freaking
amazing.
out. It was so amazing. And honestly, now that I know they didn't retire, real as hell for what they did. They were like,
Hmm.
listen, if we're over the hill, we're over the hill and far away. We will
Hmm.
retire. And because we need to they literally said they're like, wrestling is harder than it used to be. And if we can't keep up, then we got to get out. And
Right.
honestly, again, it's like sometimes you should end the show after
On a
five
high note.
seasons instead of eight. Like sometimes,
100%.
so I
It's
respect it. But guess what?
not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today,
Ah.
girl.
Not today. The
I'll
Legion
see
of
you
Doom.
next week with the titles, girl. Brrr. Like,
Girl, we got new tag team champions. Love to
thank
see it.
God.
Can you say transitional champion?
An
Um,
oldie but a goodie. Mm.
love to see it. The crowd is going absolutely wild when the Godwins have had enough of Uncle Cletus.
They
They
turn on him.
so fast. Dropped like a bad habit.
My
They
God.
they beat up on Cletus. They break his
They
nose.
broke his
Fully broke
nose.
his nose, and the episode ends when you can hear Henry just going, "All you had to do was hit him in the face," and you're like, "Oh, ooh, okay." Love to see
I
it. Love
and
to
you
see
know,
it. Didn't like Cletus. Didn't need Cletus.
never
Moving
did.
on.
It wasn't working. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know about it. Put that man back where you found him.
Mhm.
And
Put that thing back
where
where it came from, or so
or
help
so
me.
help me or so help me. Like
Honestly,
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Hillbilly Jim, wherever you are, today's the
Mm.
day. He literally like woke up and just went,
Believe
Uncle
like as
Cletus
if
is
he was
gone.
like a cryogenically frozen head.
Yes, where he was in frozen in carbonate. Is that
Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
So that's where they leave us on this episode, guys. We are barreling towards Survivor
I'm
Series.
terrified
It's
of
gonna be
Survivor
wild. We already
Series.
know. Um, but um, by the time this episode has come out, voting for the Sports Podcast Award will be done. If you have taken the time to vote, thank you so much. We won't know what the results are for a while. Win, lose, doesn't really matter. Just happy to have been nominated. So thank you for taking the time to do that. If you did, thank you for watching. For Kelsey, I am Xavier, and we will catch you on the next one.
We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye. I want to have sex with my eyelid.
I love that. There's your blooper.